Alright, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is. We got the one and only, we got professional street dance group member, from the Soul Brothers, but he's also an author, an award-winning author at that. But I'll let the man tell the story. He is none other than the legendary Ali Shabazz right here on 97.7.
Oh, what's up, bro, Shaq?
Oh, man, I'm doing great, man. I hope everything is all well on your end. Out in California, man. I heard you guys has opened back up, so congratulations on that. It must feel good to get back to normal.
Man, it feels good. You still gotta get used to it, though.
I most definitely agree with that, man. Down here in Canada, we're not quite back to normal yet. We're opening up slowly in stages, so we're just starting to go into stage 3. So we're just about getting our concerts back, man. So I'm getting a little excited for that, but it's been so long, I don't even know what a concert feels like anymore.
Man, it's been a minute for that.
But I gotta ask you, man. I know you're a busy guy, so I'm gonna take you right back to the beginning. But I want to take you back to the good old days, man. During the golden age era of hip hop, you were actually a member of the professional street dance group called the Soul Brothers. I was wondering, how did yourself and the Soul Brothers get connected? And of course, what was it like just dancing with them back in the day?
Man, that was a journey within itself. But to take it back, there used to be a dance movement out here, right? Called Ultra Wave. And this took place after Uncle Jam's Army. So it was a lot of a mix of two cultures. You had the ska style and, those type of cats blending in with the computer type fast music we used to dance to. So they started this dance scene called Ultra Wave, and there was a whole bunch of groups. And Soul Brothers was one of them. And like I said, we all kind of met. Like I said, we was all in high school at the time. And it was just a place where we all hooked up. And then we were like, all in different groups. And then I settled with Soul Brothers. And it was like still like 8 of us then. 7 or 8 of us. And then when hip-hop came in, though, that's when it changed. And then, because most rappers, didn't have 8 dancers or nothing until Hammer came. But we broke down to 4. Then another of my member, he's raps, you might have heard of him, the Far Eye, he's down with the Liquid Crew. When he went away to college, it left us 3. And the rest was history, bro, Shot.
And I gotta say, man, it must have been surreal just back in the day being able to do what you guys did, man, because, you know what I mean, especially on the West Coast, man, you didn't really have a lot of groups like that really doing that stuff, you know what I mean? So I have to ask, man, are you still into the whole breakdancing thing? Like, do you still do it once in a while?
Yeah, we do hip-hop boogie. We still, do old school shows now, concerts, which is cool, man. We still doing, big concerts with Houdini, Dougie Fresh. If they call us and they need that at that time, we're the go-to guys.
And
we'll do a show with Houdini at a drop, especially on the West Coast, because they have Doc Ice is still dancing from UTFO. He still dances with my man Rooftop Wiz. They like the original Houdini dancers right now. But then, like I said, Dougie Fresh to call us out to do a cameo appearance, nice and smooth sometimes. So yeah, we still active, man. We have to go because the Nicholas brothers told us we have to go all the way to the end. So they said you have to dance, you can't dance no more.
And I have to ask, did you guys actually dance right to the end, or have you guys danced from
You have to dance at the end of life, Nicholas brothers, they dance. His last performance he was 90 years old, and he died 2 weeks later.
Holy crap! I gotta say though, if you're a 90-year-old
he died at 88, and in his last performance, and he died 2 weeks after his last performance at 88 years old. So. Gotta go to the end.
I gotta say though, man, 88 years old and still pop locking, man. I gotta say that's pretty damn impressive.
Oh man, that's cold, right? That's cold. But as you were saying earlier about being on the West Coast, what we did was we used to watch old, tapes like Chuck Berry and Muddy Waters and shit, not for the music rather, but their journey. So we gathered our own money up and took ourselves on tour with just us dancing. So we went to New York looking for cats to battle, and that's how we got our name. So we was going state to state looking for the best dancers to let them know, it's our time to shine.
And also as
that's
well,
how we did it.
And also as well, man, aside from the Soul Brothers, I actually read that you actually have been a since April 2000, you have actually been a directors of public relations over at Go Beyond the Game, where where you actually mentor student athletes. I was wondering what actually made you decide to venture into that profession, and of course, what is it like just being able to mentor kids that want to follow in your footsteps?
Man, that has like three great parts. One, I was like always, enjoy football. So I knew, like, even when we first started dancing, I was like, we get our money right or something, I'm going to have a little football league or something. It didn't happen that way, but it still happened the right way. And just for, ironically, we used to teach Alpha King. We used to play with the Rams when they won the Super Bowl with Marshall Falk and all of them. And we used to train his brother as a dancer. So when it came full circle, he came and got me for the football camp. And, man, we've been running 22 years now. And it's, like, amazing, man. And what helped, right, because you know how, you have your heyday in the entertainment game, and you have your little dry spell, and that's when cats, like, kind of, like, get the drugs and things like that, of that nature. So what helped me was kids that didn't know me as Soul Brother Legend, they only knew me as Coach Legend, looked up to me more than they did when I was dancing. So that kind of like really healed that whole Hollywood wound for me.
And I gotta say as well, that's still an actual phenomenal profession. If you don't mind me asking, like, is there any ways individuals can get more involved with that company as well? Like maybe volunteer to help out as well?
Yeah, definitely, man. They can get in contact with me. They always change the name of the site all the time. I think right now, Hakeem for Kids, it's on IG. And we have the ILM Foundation on Facebook, but it's all connected to Go Beyond the Game. But yeah, they can reach out to me anytime. Like I said, we do football camp here in LA every Father's Day weekend, 22 years. We got some great NFL players. They just fall through, man. It'd be beautiful. Beautiful, immortal.
And
see the kid, like some players that I have maybe looked up to when I was younger. Just, hey man, I heard it was a camp today. And I'd be like, what?
And I gotta ask, man, what are some of the most what are some of the football players that actually made their way through the camp?
Man, we had Keyshawn Johnson, we had Albert Lewis, we had Marcellus Wiley. We had Big Baby. I can't think of his real name right now. He used to play for Detroit. All the kids used to love him. Man. Who else do we have? We had a lot of Marshall Falk. We had a lot of Rams. Matter of fact, we had Deshaun Jackson came through our camp as a kid. So when he became pro, it was like, wow. So he came back to our camp a few times. But he came through as a kid, man. DeAnthony Thomas, that plays with in the NFL now, he came through our camp. So, yeah, man, it's been beautiful.
I gotta say, man, those are some big names, man. You know what I mean? I can tell you that it's only going to get bigger as the years go by, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure them ball players, they talk.
Yeah, they be hands-on, man.
And also, man, aside from actually the Soul Brothers and of course, mentoring student athletes, man, I was wondering as well, because you're also an author and a very successful one at that. I have to ask, man, what actually made you decide to venture into the author side of the industry, man? Because you're writing phenomenal books.
Man, it started with I was supposed to write a treatment for Def Jeff's second video, Dropping Rhymes on Drums, the one that brought us out as the Soul Brothers. I was supposed to write a treatment for that. For some reason, the book went left. So I ended up writing a little novella called Young Lokes on the West Side. Then I wrote Jeff's treatment. And they was like, man, you got something. So then I wrote another little novella called Doobie the Hustler. And then they just kept making traction. And then, like I said, I had a little run way back then, kind of died down. I really didn't think about it too much till after the dance game. And then, ironically, that same Young Lokes on the West Side, the same way I wrote it when I was 18, that's the one John Singleton made all the actors on Snowfall read the book. getting the character. Now, he didn't use any of my ideas or nothing like that. He just made them read the book, because it was a short book, to get into the characters of how people were acting in the 80s on the west side of L.A. So that's what kicked the whole thing off again, which actually turned into the web series that you can see on Cutty Mack TV called West Off Scandalous. That's actually the book, Young Lopes on the West Side. But I thought that title was too long for a web series. Yeah, that's how that happened, because John Singleton kind of urged me. He said, I'm not going to help you, though. So I was like, I don't want to be a director. I'm an editor. And he was like, kind of like just pushing me, like, to do something. So I just took the book and made a web series. That's how that happened, man.
And also, that amazing book, because, like, obviously there's individuals out there that are watching that web series that might not even realize until now that that's based on a book. Like, where can they actually go to buy that book today?
Man, that book is on Amazon right now. Young Lux on the West Side, and my best one to date, the one I'm getting my awards for, is Moral Dilemma. And that's on Amazon as well. Moral Dilemma by legendary Ali Shabazz. That was that's a smoker right there.
And I gotta ask, man, because, you know, it must be surreal, you know, because, like, obviously you wrote the book, like, clearly, you know what I mean? But, like, being able to sit there and actually watch these individuals portray the characters that you created, and, because at the end of the day, a book is pretty much just like a movie in your mind when you read it. So what is it like actually sitting there behind the scenes, just being able to watch your book flourish into real life?
Bro, it didn't hit me. Like I said, when we started, we didn't even know what we were doing. It was like when John Singleton tested me, I called my son, we went and got a camera, some lights, and what else we get? Camera lights, and a mic, and a microphone. And I called my son and my boy, and we gathered the team. So it wasn't for a minute until I was editing. And then I saw him, one of the characters saying the lines from the book. And I was like, damn, this is my book. It was just like, it was crazy. It was so surreal. It was surreal because, like I said, the book was really based in the 80s. But, of course, I didn't have the budget for a time period piece for YouTube, so I made them current. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of based on the book. So, but it was surreal, though. It was like, wow.
And also as well, man.
And now when people read the book and then they see the things in the web series, they're like, wow, that happened. Oh, shit. Yeah.
On July 29th, 2015, you actually released another phenomenal book by the name of Everyday Hustlin', featuring Doobie the Hustler. I was wondering, what's the story behind that amazing book? And, of course, is that in the list on Amazon to purchase today as well?
Okay, we took that one off because I was working with a dear friend of mine, Paul Stewart. He's like big in the industry, did a lot of soundtracks for movies, like Hustle and Flow and Poetic Justice, things like that. He was the one who actually was working with John Singleton on all his, like, he does like the soundtrack supervisor for all his movies. So that was a good connection how we got Young Lopes to John Singleton in the first place. But I was working with him, so Everyday Hustling was never really the title. I just turned it that way because I just wanted to learn the book game through P. So I took that one off, but I'm putting it back out as the original title again, which is Doobie the Hustler. And that's actually based on a friend of mine, loosely, named Doyle, rest in peace. He was just the class clown, you know? And he went from ashy to classy. So I just, like, you know, put the extras on it. And, yeah, that's how that one came about.
And the one thing I got to ask as well, because a lot of individuals, they always happen to ask authors, like, are you ever going to do autographed books? So if anyone ever hits you up via Instagram or Facebook, and if they actually request an autographed book, would you actually sign one of your books and mail it off? Like, obviously, they got to pay for the book, of course, but, like, do you offer
all day long. It's better when they get it from me. If they can get it autographed the way they want it, you know, and they probably even get a better price.
That is true, because sometimes Amazon, man, they're kind of shysty with the shipping, man. I noticed that. They really do tack on.
Very shysty, so it's best that they even call me. And I said, get with me on my IG, Sober the Legendary. Shoot me in my DM, and I'll lace you up right.
And also as well, man, you are actually the CEO over at Cutty Mack Publishing. I was wondering, man, what actually made you decide to start up your own company? And of course, what services do you actually offer to the general public today?
When I saw I was working with, like I said, DJ Paul Stewart at Over the Edge Books, I just learned and learned and learned. And once I mastered the game, I was like, I can do this on my own. So that's how that began. And then I started looking for other authors that was, struggling to get their books out as well. And then so that's just an outlet for them to help them out. But I like to have mine is like the way I did it, like learn first and then break out and go on your own. Some people are, comfortable. You learn a lot about, how different people shake and move. Because some people are like, like to just have everything taken care of for them, and then some people are go-getters. So, but I'm trying to, with Cutty Mack Publishing, I'm trying to just like teach you the game as I learn, and then let you branch out.
And I also saw as well, man, that you actually have your own YouTube show titled Hip Hop Dance Stories. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners, like, what made you decide to start that show? And of course, like, what is the actual YouTube channel? That way our listeners can subscribe and hit that bell.
Yeah. Same thing for West Los Gal. It's Cutty Mack TV, CUTTYMACK TV. You will see a Cutty finger as the logo. Classic Cutty finger. You put that in the air, all good things will happen. But yeah, Hip Hop Dance Stories, me being a hip hop dance OG, I've always been, a rider for us, a warrior for all of us. And always campaigning, for dancers to have some shine. And I knew through our journey, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we were the dancers, and say Big Daddy Kane's dancers, and Bobby Brown's dancers. They were like, celebs as well. And so I knew some of them had even better stories than the rappers. Because, we were, had to do, had to hustle a little bit more than the rappers because we didn't have a deal. So to have our name ringing amongst the greats at that time, like right with the Rakims and the Canes and stuff like that, and they naming off dancers as well, then you really was making a statement out there. So with that being said, I knew, like I said, our Tupac stories and things like that we haven't told yet, that it was time. And I figure timing, too, is always right. Because you can tell a story too early. We call them liquor store stories. But if you tell them at the right time, everybody wants to hear. So now it's like the perfect time to tell our old stories. But everybody's interested in the 90s hip-hop now. So, bam, here we are. And we have the And I Dance video that Play from Kid and Play put out. So you guys have to check that out on streamwaves.com. And it's the free documentary that tells the whole story. And I danced.
And I also saw as well, man, that you actually had MC Shin on not too long ago, man. That must have been a cool episode being able to check
that
it out.
That was incredible. My girl Afro was one of our hosts from Hip Hop Dance Stories. Let me shout out V-Love as well from the Soul Brothers. We came together and, put the show together, started getting all the OGs. So even if you didn't dance, if you had something that maybe inspired our dance moves, because Shin had a song called Juice Crew Law. And we kind of used that as a motivational tool, in our battle days. So just having him on the show was like amazing, man. But yeah, Afro hooked that up.
But I gotta ask, man, what is next for yourself? Ali Shabazz, man, like, is there anything we actually missed during this interview? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still have you here live on the radio station airwaves this evening.
No, I just recommend that everybody get the book Moral Dilemma. If you really want a great read, that's what you want to do, and I just put extras on it. Because, like I said, I tell you the truth, like I said, I never knew Young Los on the West Side would turn into West Los Gallants, because that was never my dream. You feel me? It just happened that way. But Moral Dilemma, I stand by that one. And make sure you check out the web series and check out Hip Hop Dance Stories. And everything you need is on Cutty Mack TV. Like and subscribe.
And also, man, this is the time in the interview quickly that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airwaves. Just a chance to give, like, shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to. But most of all, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything Ali Shabazz if they're not already doing so.
Cool, yes I do. But first I want to give a shout-out to Canada. I haven't been in over 20 years. But when I came, man, it was one of the best times I ever had in my life. And always be memorable, and especially in my top 10 of events. Canada will be in there, for sure. So, social media handles, everything is Soul Brother Legendary. You know, you can type in my name, full name, Legendary Ali Shabazz. That will bring you to everything as well.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, man, it definitely was an honor to welcome such a legendary individual like yourself on my radio station airwaves, man. I hope down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon, man, and most definitely. But thank you so much, man. I really do. I gotta say, man, I'm a big fan of what you're doing, man. I'm a big fan of your books, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next one that you write as well.
Man, I'm humbled, man. I'm glad. I'm honored, man. I've been waiting for this moment to talk to the Canada airwaves. I tell you, it's like one of the best moments of my life when I went there. So it's an honor, and I'm humbled right now.
Hey, man. Hopefully you can come across the border soon, man, and put on a show for us all, man. Because I think Canada most definitely will love to see you guys reunite here in Canada.
Oh yeah, we're coming. We got something for you.
Most definitely.
Got something for you. Don't worry about nothing.
But I gotta say, Ali, thank you so much again, man. And definitely have yourself a wonderful night out there in California.
Thank you, man. One love, Cutty salute, all that.
You salute to you as well, man. Thank you so much.
Cool. Peace, beloved.